Okay. Okay. Good morning, good afternoon, good evening, whoever. And Jesus. Hello. Oh, I apologize. I can't control my cell phone.
No worries.
Good afternoon, good evening, whoever and wherever you are. This is Coach Lee, and we're working on speech anxiety in all its gross forms. And I'm talking with Nick from Finland. Say howdy, Nick.
Well, hello, guys. Howdy.
And Nick is, let's see, he works in marketing and he speaks Greek and English. And he began stuttering at age 6, mainly repeats, blocks, silences, some grimaces. Authorities, phone on the phone, class, and in class, all typical. 70% of conversations under pressure were bad incidents. He'd had multiple therapies that did not solve his problem. And he started our program a month or so ago. And he basically has made a lot of progress. He joined WSSA and he's using their program and services, and that's the fast track. And on March 5th, he reported to me no bad incidents in 3 weeks. Ran into one a little bit later, but then so I asked him if he could say any individual word anywhere, anytime, and he said no, he didn't think he could say that. And I said, well, we need to work on it. And carrying a conversation, same thing. He needs to work on that because to beat it, I mean, he's made a lot of progress, but to beat it, he's got to be able to say to himself and to everybody else, I can say there's no word that I can't say anywhere, anytime. I mean, phone in class, at McDonald's, doesn't matter where you are, it's all the same. And so he's got to be able to do that. And to do that, he needs to know crutches 1 through 8, or enough of them, or some of them, and be skilled enough at using them to be able to make that statement. Now, and the second statement is that he needs to be able to make is I can carry a conversation anywhere, anytime. So that involves speech plans. It's not that hard, but it takes practice and lots of it. And the amount of practice depends upon how long you've stuttered, how severely you've stuttered, and in what ways you've stuttered. So those are all X factors. But the good news is that I did this and I haven't stuttered in 50 years. And my coaches, I've got coaches now that have been with me for 6, 7 years and haven't relapsed. So there are people who they don't finish. They come in and they get better and they get happy and they don't have a problem most places and they go racing out the door and we never hear from them again. But that's unfortunate because they're at risk until you can say with a straight face, there's no word I can't say anywhere, anytime. And I can carry a conversation with anybody for any amount of time, 5 minutes, 5 hours, 5 days. I can do that. You got to be able to say that too. And the beauty of it is to carry a long conversation, all you need to be able to do is speak in short increments. Say a few words, stop, at any time, stop, and start again, stop, and insert stops, stop. And it's not hard, stop. If you know how to link your words, stop. You can do it, stop. It's not that hard, stop. So that's carrying a conversation. So in any event, so Nick then sent me an email not long ago saying that after having 7 weeks with no bad, everything was looking good. And suddenly he went to McDonald's and he had to say quarter pounder. And He couldn't say it. Oh, wow. So what are we going to do about that? Now, so I'm going to ask you, what could and should you have done to say quarter pounder?
Well, in my opinion, I should have used more of the crutch 4 to insert a sound, quarter pounder, and or a filler word, and or maybe use the modulation quarter pounder, or maybe skip the first syllables, but that might be tricky um, for the clerk.
All good answers.
Yeah.
All good answers. Now, demonstrate to me crutch 4. How would you say a quarter pounder using crutch 4?
My main way is using so I would say quarter pounder.
Okay. How about a quarter pounder? Try that.
Quarter pounder.
It's even easier. Now, insert a word and connect it to quarter.
Well, quarter pounder.
Okay.
Or quarter pounder. One word.
Quarter pounder. Now, you may have to swallow the first letter, the Q, the K, the C. You may have to swallow the first letter. No one cares. No one notices. Believe me. They got enough problems in their life. They're not monitoring how you're talking. And everybody butchers words. Every fluent person alive butchers words. So you got a lot of company. Everyone is your company. So the only difference is non-stutterers don't wipe out totally. They don't go completely off the cliff and shut down and they can't get anything out at all. They're going, they don't do that.
Yeah.
That's the difference. And we don't either when we know these methods and when we've used them enough, then we don't need them anymore because we're not afraid of words. We stop fearing words. We stop planning words. When we stop fearing and planning words, it's over. Now, we become, in my opinion, better speakers than most people. That's one of the benefits. And using mind training to attack anxiety in general, not just speech anxiety, and anger and jealousy and hatred and lots of other negative thinking, that's all a plus. And that's why we eventually can say, hey, I converted stuttering into a blessing. But we got to get you back to first base, second base. First base is the ability to say any word, anywhere, anytime, which includes quarter pounder. Second base is not planning words. We must stop. That doesn't, planning words is not a crime and it isn't stuttering, but it leads to stuttering. So we don't do it. And then third base is we're going to love to speak. Not only are you not going to have a problem saying quarter pounder, you're going to enjoy saying it. And the greater the pressure, the more you're going to enjoy it. The bigger the group, the more formal it is, you're going to be the first guy raising your hand. I want to introduce myself and the 10 people on the platform with long Greek names like mine. And I'm going to introduce every one of them beautifully. That's what I'm going to do because I know I can. That's why. And I'm going to do it. And every time I do it, it's easier. Every time it's easier. So much fun. Oh, I love to speak. So much. Give me the mic, please.
That's the goal. That's the goal, coach. I want to be that guy just like you.
You're going to do it, man. You're going to do it because I'm not doing anything you can't do. Nothing.
Yeah.
I guarantee it. You may be able to do it even better for all I know. But I'm doing the best I can, and that's good enough. I've always been, since I stopped stuttering, among the best speakers I know. Oh, sure. Now, let's get back to these crutches. Your answer was perfect. You said crutch 4, crutch 8, crutch 1. and a few other things. All of them are correct answers, each individually and together. They're all correct. Now, but you let to stutter, you got to do 4 things: hesitate, think a word, fear it, and force it. Now, as a card carrying stutterer, you can do that in a 50th of a second. You can do all 4 things just like that. You're a professional at doing that. I was.
That's true. Yeah,
You
it
got
is.
it mastered. You know how to do that. So, but the thing is, you got to do all 4 things. If you don't do all 4, you're not going to stutter. So, the minute you use, for example, crutch 4, the principle of crutch 4 is when you're blocked when you, I, anyone is blocked on a word, it's always one word, one syllable, one letter. It's always just that. And what that means is every other word, every other syllable, every other letter in that language, you can say at that time. So you have, what do you have in English? Supposedly, most people know about 100,000 words and use about 10,000. So you've got 99,999 options available to you. Isn't that enough? Isn't that enough?
Yeah, so yeah,
You don't
it
say
is.
quarter pounder, you say something else. And that could drift you into crutch 5, tell a story about the word, or crutch 6, change or rephrase the thought. You know, I was saying, well, I was thinking about having a chicken sandwich, but I think I want to have a hamburger instead. I just started talking about something else. And I just threw quarter pounder in when it was linked to everything else I said. Now, if you understand the principle of linking, that will always work. You can always parenthetically insert, you could do an individual word like and, so, or well, that works just fine, but you didn't do it. You let the fear get in your way. So we'll use some other tactics. We'll throw in some more weapons in your arsenal around your belt. You got several kinds of guns and knives and hand grenades, and you're ready for the bear. So so basically you're going to say, when you start saying anything else, a quarter pounder is of course a hamburger. You could have said hamburger quarter pounder. If the guy would have never thought, or girl, whoever, then nobody's ever thinking anything about what you say. You can make no sense at all, and it's still fine. People get it. As long as you get your message out. And the more, when you know in your heart of hearts and in your brain that nothing can ever prevent you from saying what you need to say, suddenly the fear starts crashing. It'll take a while, but to go away completely. But the more you put yourself, this is why we don't walk, we run to pressure situations. You can't get enough of them. Now, you may not talk much initially in front of an audience of 10,000. You may only want to say a few words, but at the first time, and then the next time you say twice as many, and then 3 times as many, and then 5 times as many, and after a while, it doesn't matter how many you say. It's just exposure. It's like anything else. It's like learning to swim when you're a little kid. I can remember when I didn't know how to swim. We weren't members of country clubs and things like that, and I didn't know how to swim. And I was like 8 or 9 years old, and I was terrified of the water. And they took me to a public pool where they had a coach, and they got me in the shallow end of the pool, and they showed me how to paddle around and stay up. And once I realized that I wasn't going to drown, the fear disappeared. It's the same thing here. You've got to prove to yourself that you can paddle around and you're going to be okay. And once you know you're okay, now you can learn to do the crawl, the backstroke, and the breaststroke, and whatever else. You can learn all the methods, and have a great time in the pool. And that's what I did. And so it's the same thing in speech. So, all right. So you gave me the right answer, but you didn't use any of them. Now let's talk about in the future, what's the easiest way for you to say, picking 4, 8, 1, or any others, 5 or 6, somebody says, what do you want for lunch? And you don't answer quarter pounder. You say, well, I'm not sure, but I was thinking about having an ice cream, but maybe I'll have a quarter pounder. When you get talking, you can throw it in. Say anything. Pardon me, would you hand me the napkin? Well, yeah, I'll have a quarter pounder. I mean,
Yeah.
Look, the one thing you can't do is force it. That doesn't work. Because when you try and force it, you grimace, you roll your eyes, you block, you wheeze, you make strange body movements. You look like a jerk and you feel like a jerk and you don't want to be there. So you can't force it. But you don't have to. Say anything else you want. Anything else. Now, one of the things, I don't really have it as a crutch, but one of the things that I do with people nowadays is get them to use the feared word as a sound launch. Now that's, what do you want for lunch? A quarter pounder. I stretched it out a block. I didn't say quarter pounder. I said a quarter pounder. Say that.
A quarter pounder.
And it's kind of like you're at a carnival and you're making announcements. You're an MC or something, and you're saying it. It's kind of like the. Have you ever been to a boxing match where they say, and in this corner, in the pink shorts, weighing 195 pounds,
Yeah.
Rocky Marcy, and no, yay! Everybody goes yay. You can talk like that at a lower volume. Quarter pounder, say that.
Quarter pounder.
It's kind of like you're thinking about something else at the time, or you're making a joke out of it, you're being funny. Doesn't matter.
Yes, true.
You said it. You said it. So that's a way of using it in an extreme way, elongating it, almost singing it. And that's another thing, of course. Most stutterers can sing without stuttering. I could, and I was a singer when I stuttered. And I did a pretty good job too. And as long as they didn't ask me to tell them my name, I was fine.
Yeah.
Yeah, it was funny. But so this is a form of that. It's another way to approach the subject. Anything you put in front of it, a word, a syllable, a phrase, a sound, another couple of words, a sentence, a paragraph, a different word entirely. Anything will prevent the block. And you can connect quarter pounder to virtually anything you want, including just your sounds. So when you wiped out, what else happened? You're with your girlfriend, as I think you told me.
Yeah.
So you're in the car, is that right?
Yeah, it's true. Yeah.
So what exactly happened when you wiped out then?
So as I was driving there, I was already feeling some pressure. I was saying aloud my affirmations. I was listening to music that to get me hyped up, pumped up.
Yeah.
So I went to drive-through, and the moment came, and I just kind of froze. I was in a little bit of a panic mode. So I started uh, saying what I was gonna order, and I tried to link the words, and then the fear and the hesitation came in. So I stopped. I tried to use a sound. I still couldn't get it. So eventually I ordered a different burger, and then I was feeling like I was extreme pressure, and I was really forcing out everything. I was sounding like five people was standing on my back, sounding like extremely like
Yeah.
like
All right.
squeamish kind of.
Have you ever used whispering?
Uh, rarely, rarely, yeah.
Well, say after me. I like to whisper.
I like to whisper.
When I whisper, I never stutter.
When I whisper, I never stutter.
I can whisper just a little bit louder.
I can whisper just a little bit loud.
Make mine a quarter pounder.
Make one a quarter pounder.
I said, make mine a quarter pounder.
Make mine a quarter pounder.
You know, if when you think about your message, when you really think about overselling it, like going soft or going anytime you come out of your voice register, that's the principle of crutch 8. Anytime you come out of your voice register, the stuttering guy isn't there. Now, if you stayed there indefinitely, he'd get there some eventually, but you don't stay there. When I need to say something, if I go up or if I go down, he's not there. Same thing with loud and soft. When I'm angry, I don't stutter. So loud is okay. Soft voice, okay? It's just the regular. I can have fun with this. You can have fun. I'm gonna have a quarter pounder. Thank you so much. And laugh and look around and laugh. Have a good time with it. You can laugh your way into saying anything. Smile your way into saying anything. Now, when you did this, were you ordering at one of those devices where the person can see you or they can't see you? It's just a device.
Oh, they cannot see me. It's just
Okay.
my phone. Yeah.
So you can't be an actor about that in that way, but you can with your voice. When you, anytime that you exaggerate your speech in a positive, I don't recommend shouting because it's irritating. Whispering or in a soft voice can work fine. Some people say, "Oh, they can't hear me," but they usually can. They usually can. I whispered my way out of a lot of tight spots in my life until I didn't need to anymore. All you need to realize is you got so many ways of beating it. It's just a question of which one you use. It's not can you use one? Yeah, you can use a lot of them. It's just pick a different one and you play with it and you have fun. In this situation, what was the aftermath of what you did, in your opinion? Oh, this, you had your girlfriend with you, just that was the only person with you?
Yeah, yeah, she was, yeah.
And so, how much of this did she notice?
We've been 10 years together, so she knows my situation.
Yeah, okay.
But still, you know, I felt ashamed, embarrassed, and full of rage. But yeah,
Right. Now, look, stuttering is just one effect of perfectionism and being worried about what other people think. And we don't want to try to be perfect. We want to try and have as good a time as we can doing everything we do. But the goal isn't to be perfect, because nobody's perfect. So we're never going to be perfect. So that's fine. And nobody cares about it. We just want to be able to communicate, and we can do that. And we can have a lot of fun doing it. Now, it's so, the business of ordering food at takeouts, I can't tell you how many people I've had this conversation with. I can't even count them. I could not count them. It is a very, very common problem. We want to go in there. You need to spend more time ordering things at these places. Every time you go by that you've got an extra 10 minutes, pull into one of these places and order something. Order a Coke or a milkshake or something to take home, and have fun doing it. And sing it to them, whisper it to them, exaggerate it. Nothing can stop you from saying what you need. A lot of times people simply draw blanks in their brain. They can't remember a name or a place or whatever. That's very simple. Everybody does that. And that can be that can be the cause of the problem as well. It doesn't have to be speech related. Pounder, pounder, pounder. I'm thinking about, but I love the quarter pounder. Hamburger, quarter pounder. Babble, babble. Say anything, any words, and then throw it in. That's 6 in a form, or 5. And, I say to everyone, if you can think the message, if you can really think your message, you don't need anything else. You don't need any books, any coaches, anything else. You just need to really think your message.
yeah.
Can you say it like you really mean it, Nick? Can you do it?
Yes, I can, coach. Yeah.
I would like to have a quarter pounder today. How about that?
I would like to have a quarter pounder today.
In
How
other
about
words,
that?
be an actor. You got a good smile, use it. Throw it out there. Oh, I can't wait. I'm going to have a quarter pounder today.
Oh, today I cannot wait to have a quarter pounder today.
See, when you come out of your shell, when you just let yourself out and have fun, there is no problem. No word is a problem. You can say it too many ways. How we ever got into this mess, God only knows. But we don't have to stay there. Now, do you have the reading documents that I have? Have I sent you my reading documents? I don't remember.
I think you did not, sir. No.
Okay, well then, I'm going to send you an email right now. Going to send an email. Let's see here. New email. Let's see if your name comes up as one of the anointed. No, I bring up another Nick from Canada. That's not you.
Well, you can also
Oh, here.
try Billy the
Got
Kid.
you now. I got you now. I
Yeah.
got reading doc. Okay, I got you. I'm sending it right now. I just sent it to you.
Great.
And so you open that up. And why do we do this? Why do we read aloud? We read aloud because for two reasons. One, we need to hear ourselves being fluent a lot. But you basically do that all the time. You're basically fluent all the time. You're this close to being able to say, I can say any word. And when you can say that, that's absolutely, look, I didn't know until the last year, and I've been doing this full time for 10 years. I did it part time for decades, but I've been doing it full time for 10 years, 7 days a week. I didn't know until within the last year that some people who stopped stuttering, they haven't had bad incident in a month, 2 months, 3 months, 4 months, 5 months, 6 months, whatever. They still wouldn't say to me, I can say any word, anywhere, anytime. They wouldn't say it. They weren't comfortable saying it. I couldn't believe it. I just learned that within the last year. Some of my favorite students who posted success stories and everything else couldn't make that statement. And we need to be able to make that statement. It's very important. Now, but to make it, you've got to test it a lot. You don't want to walk to pressure, you want to run to pressure. You can't wait for pressure. Oh, I'm gonna give a talk at church or in school, or I'm gonna order a bunch of stuff for a car full of people. This is gonna be a blast. What are we gonna do? You become an actor. Being enthusiastic about your message is a form of acting until it's natural. And you want to think out of the box. You want Nick to be, the more pressure you have, the more you want to come out of your shell and be an aggressive, positive, joyful extrovert. You want to be believable. You want to put something into it. Even when I whisper, I can put something into it. And it makes me a more interesting speaker. Period. So he's kind of strange, old fool, but so what? I'm having fun. I don't hurt anybody. And I know I'm more entertaining than most of them because I try so hard. I'm not doing anything you can't do. I'm just being out of the box, over the top. I had a family. I had 3 girls in Qatar, 15, 17, and 18, who all stutter, and their mother stutter. Monkey see, monkey do. It's not genetic.
No, it's not.
80% of my students have no stutters in their family. My family was all orators. Seriously. My father was a great lawyer. My mother was president of everything she ever did. And my aunt was on Broadway. She would have been in Hollywood in the movies. She had a master's in Shakespearean English. She could recite all kinds of soliloquies when she was 95 years old.
Wow.
And she could throw her voice without a mic. She could throw it a block. And she was 5 feet tall. She would knock your block off with her beautiful diction. She was a consummate speaker, and I stuttered in that family. Made no sense. So anyway, so acting, over the top, being an actor, think of yourself as the consummate actor, salesman. You got to put something into it. You're not a robot. You're not boring. Have fun with life. Push it around. You can do it. It's up to you. And don't worry about what anyone else thinks.
Yeah, so
Go ahead.
So coach, you mean like if I really put some emphasis and speak like a salesman for like let's say every day, will it eventually become my automatic mode?
Of course.
Speaking? Yeah,
Except instead of using salesman, I would say an actor,
actor, yeah.
who believes his role. Shakespeare said all the world's a stage and all the men and women merely players. Each one has his exits and his entrances, and one man in his time plays many parts, said the bard. So you and I are actors. We will pronounce all our syllables and words. We will use modulation to a fault. We will think our message and sell it. And sell it. The simplest mundane thing. Oh, I'll have a quarter pounder and some fries and also a chocolate milkshake. Now my companion would like to have blah, blah, blah. You can talk to that megaphone like it's an audience of 1,000. Have fun with it. You say, well, it's too extreme, it's whatever. I was going to say, look, the only opinion of you that matters is your opinion of yourself. And you, look, to have a good opinion of yourself, you don't have to be the smartest, richest, handsomest, most famous person on the planet. You don't have to be that. All you got to do is do the best at what you do, be a loving person and practice your mind training. That's all you got to do. And guess what? You're going to achieve most of your reasonable goals. You're going to have a very good life. Don't worry about what anybody else thinks. You be as loving as you can be. Don't worry about it. Eventually, they'll think you're okay. You don't have to worry about that. Treat them right. Be respectful. Be a gentleman. Do your best. Don't create problems. Don't get drunk. Don't take drugs. Don't cheat, lie, steal, whatever. Don't do it. You'll end up miserable. Doesn't work. Life is not that complicated. Go ahead.
Yeah, so I also have one more question. In the book, you clearly state to avoid bad incidents, and I've noticed I was 7 weeks with no bad incidents. When the bad incident happened, I had a slight how do you say the word? I I went back into a little bit of the stuttering habit. So should I now avoid the bad incidents, the drive-throughs, or should I run into them?
No, you run into them.
All right, yeah.
Yeah, you want them. You want them because you're going to own them. You're going to own those places. That's where you're going to do your best speaking.
All right, yeah. Okay.
You're going to have fun with this. But you got to come out of your shell. You've got to realize words are not the problem. They never were. It's how you say them.
It's true.
I want you to say them like you mean them. Put something in it and smile when you do it, mate. Now, you have that reading document that I sent you yet?
Let me just check. 1 second, sir. Yeah, here it is, sir.
Okay, go to page 14.
Just 1 second, it opens. All right. Page 14, let's go. Yes, here I am, sir.
Okay, it's counting my blessings, right?
Yes, yeah.
Okay, now I want you to read read the first 3 lines of that and make me believe it.
All right. When I am worried and I can't sleep, I count my blessings instead of sheep, and I fall asleep counting my blessings.
Okay, keep going.
When my bankroll is getting small, I think of when I had none at all, and I fall asleep counting my blessings. I think about the nursery and I picture curly heads, and one by one I count them as they slumber in their beds. So if you're worried and you can't sleep, count your blessings instead of sheep.
All right, stop there.
Yes.
Now that was a very good job. From the standpoint of fluency, you got a 10. You had no threats of any concerns with any words, did you?
No, sir.
And you reason, and why don't you think you did?
Well, I was too much into the passion of, yeah.
Come on. Now you can do this with quarter pounder or with anything else. You can make fun and make a game out of all of your speech in a serious or preferably a lighthearted way. Laugh and make laugh. Laughter saves us from insanity. Laugh at yourself. You're funny. I'm funny. Life is funny if we choose to see it that way. And that's what we're going to do. Now, so fluency, you got a 10, period. Not only were you fluent, I know you didn't think a word, you had no thought whatsoever of any speech problem. Delivery, I'm going to give you a 9. That's the highest grade I've given anybody in a long time. And for stops, I'll give you a 9, which is the highest I've given anybody in a long time. That was close to perfect. Now, I'll read it for a different style. I've read it many times. When I'm worried and I can't sleep, I count my blessings instead of sheep, and I fall asleep counting my blessings. When my bankroll is getting small, I think of when I had none at all, and I fall asleep counting my blessings. I think about a nursery and I picture curly heads, and one by one I count them as they slumber in their beds. So if you're worried and you can't sleep, just count your blessings instead of sheep, and you'll fall asleep counting your blessings. If you think message, Nick, if you will concentrate on message, You will be fluent to your dying breath, and you will have more fun. Put a smile on it. Crutch 11 is an advanced crutch. It's really not a crutch at all. It's speaking like a king, and it says, speak slowly as you just did. It says, pronounce your words as you did. It says, think your message and express it in a positive way. If you have a negative message, shut your mouth. Don't let it out. You're not going to solve a problem. You're going to create one. Until you can clean up negative thoughts and put them in a positive way, don't let them out of your mouth. So release your message in a positive, passionate way and stops. You must stop because you need the break and the listener needs the break. And when you stop, it gives them a chance to reflect on what you're saying and to get your message and remember it, the point of communication anyway. So you must be expressive and passionate. You must smile, and smiling will get you farther than anything I can think of. When you smile, you use 12 muscles. When you smile, you send a positive message, endorphin, to every one of the 30 trillion cells in your body. So you need to smile and you need to stop. So slowly, pronunciation, passionate, positive, emotion. Smile and stop. These are the rules for all good speech. Master these, and the message is the most important of all. When you smile, it'll help you deliver it without a problem. It's very difficult to stutter when you're smiling. It's very hard to do. I have people who swear it's impossible.
Right.
So
Yeah.
put that smile on your face and say, I'm going into the hamburger joint here and I'm going to smile my way. I'm going to say this like I mean it. I'm going to have so much fun. It's not what you say, it's how you say it. Come to SAM meetings as much as you can. Do practice groups when you can. And run, don't walk to pressure situations. How much you talk there, what you say, all your choice. You can talk a ton or a little, but you're there and you're going to talk. You're going to say what's needed, whatever that is. And try and do it like you did it today with me. Think of it as counting your blessings.
Yeah. Yeah. I will go and try again. Order this time like a really minute.
And so, let me just see here. I got another call. Someone's going to call me in a second, probably, and bounce me out of here. But so
So Lee, when can I see you again?
okay.